It's a nice day outside. I'm just kind of chilling on my break and thinking about things, and I was thinking about purpose. And I want to challenge you to think about your purpose. What's the reason that you wake up in the morning? Why is it that you get up and do stuff in the morning? Now, it's going to be one of two things. It always boils down to two options of your purpose, why you have a purpose and what your purpose is. And I can promise you that you do have a purpose that you have. You might have gotten used to it and don't consider it a purpose, but it is. Because if you don't have a purpose, then you have no reason to do anything in life. If you don't have a purpose, then you're probably not around anymore. Because what's the point, right? But like I said, there's two options. I'll go over option one for what your purpose is. It's pleasing yourself. And I know this because I am the same way. Not as much anymore, but I used to. My only purpose was to please myself. What can I do today that would please me? What can I do tomorrow that will please me? What kind of plans can I make that would be pleasurable for me, that would please myself? And then you might be thinking, well, wait a second. No, I have a family. My purpose is my family. My purpose is to provide for my family and my kids. Well, think about that. Why is that? It's because it's unpleasant to have hungry kids. It's unpleasant to have an unhappy family. It's unpleasant to have a wife or a spouse that's not happy, right? Which leads back to you. It's pleasing to you to have a happy spouse. It's pleasing to you to have kids that are happy. It's pleasing to you to have a family that's well provided for. What about somebody else? What about a stranger when you help them to please them? Well, that's not pleasing myself. Well, think about it. Why did you do that? It's either going to be because it does make you look good or because it makes you feel better about yourself. Again, pleasing yourself. I can promise you right now, take anything in your life that you consider that you're doing, like, what you're doing now or what you're about to do, follow a line back to the purpose of that. It's going to be pleasing yourself. That's option one. That's the first reason. Let me tell you something. I used to live like that. And like anything else, what ends up happening is if the pleasure runs out, if that purpose stops pleasing myself, then it no longer becomes my purpose, and I have to shift, and I have to find a different something that pleases me, and my purpose becomes different. Everyone is like that. That's how we all start. The purpose. When the purpose stops being pleasing, I'll give you a really good example. You have a kid for a purpose, right? So most of us do. Some of us don't. Some of us accidentally have kids. But then you have a new purpose in life, right? But what happens when that child doesn't please you anymore? Right? It's really hard to be a parent for that very reason. You have to endure that if you want to love the child. Let me give you another example, an example that's kind of a better example. Drugs are a really good example. Drugs are pleasing, but at some point in every drug addict's life, they stop being pleasing, and that purpose becomes void, and they have to find a new purpose or die trying. You can take millions of examples, okay, about what's pleasing in the purpose. Eventually they run dry, and then we all become like ragged cells. That's what the Bible says. We go to and fro from where the wind blows us. And that's how we live life until we die. Even in death, even when we're dying, even when we know we're going to die, you might be old, you might be sick, something like that, you still try to find a way to find pleasure out of that experience. And that becomes your purpose in life. Just like a sail being controlled by the wind. Whichever way your pleasure blows is the way that you're going to go, because that becomes your purpose. I was like that until one day I read the Bible. One night I sat down and I read the Bible, and this is what God told me through his words in the Bible. He said, "My son, if you follow me if you stick to my word, I will give you purpose. I will keep your path straight. I will make you a path. I will give you a purpose to live for, and I will provide your pleasure for you, because what will end up happening is what pleases me will please you. And I am God. I am. I never cease. The purpose never ends. I will be forever, and so will your purpose. And those words, I believed them, and I became born again. And now, more and more and more, day by day by day, my purpose is less to please me and to please God. It becomes more and more not living for me, not pursuing my own pleasure, but pursuing His. And that is so much better and so much deeper than me trying to live for my own purpose. And it's better for my family, it's better for my friends, it's better for any stranger who needs love. I want you to think about that. Think about what your purpose is. Are you being tossed around like a wind, like a sail in the wind? Or are you standing in a solid, deep, never-ending purpose that is God and what He intends for you? Love you guys. Remember, if the word's not living in you, you're not living out the word.